For me, it was an interesting experience because, you know, it was my first time ever recording anything in my life. You know, this is my first band I've ever been in.
Thank you, guys.
My name's Rob. I play in a band.
Our band's name's Extractor. We're American Hyper Thrash. Dun, dun, dun. Dun. Dun, dun, dun. Hey, it's Extreme, and I need the best sounding recording. I need the power. We went to a studio. They were too expensive. They wanted something ridiculous for one song, so we came back, recorded here.
We recorded the demo in my basement, and it sounded okay. But I know it could have sounded a lot better if I knew a little more about the recording process. Today, I'm gonna find out some answers.
Howdy.
I'm Rob.
Dave, nice to meet you. Come on in. I started playing music when I was 20, 21. I'm 33 now, so I've been doing it since then, and I've always kind of been interested in the recording aspect. My wife has been super nice about letting me tear apart the whole house and make each room into a little ISO booth. And I don't know, it's been pretty smooth so far.
Awesome.
And there's been some loud bands here, no doubt.
I got my first tape machine about 10 years ago. I guess that's where it all started. Well, I've been in this house with the studio for almost 10 years.
I actually went to school for it for like 2 years in 1992. I finished a course in audio recording. It was in Seattle, and I got an internship at a local studio. It's called The Ranch.
I guess you could say music was one of my first loves, and having listened to it a lot, at some point being interested in machines and gizmos as a kid, I immediately thought, yeah, I could do this, and so I got into recording with a small reel-to-reel of the day and just worked my way up to bigger machines.
What is the most important element of getting a good sounding recording?
The drum set is just like such an important thing. If you can get a good kick drum sound, a good snare sound, and if you got halfway decent cymbals, it's gonna just make the recording so much better. In the end, it always takes a good performance to even have a chance at being a good recording.
It's a nice room, for sure. Makes a big difference. It seems like you can record in some spaces that it's just very easy to get a good sound, and some that it's a struggle. I don't have any super fancy mics at this point because it's kind of a big budget constraint. So I work hard on getting good mic placement and getting the instruments in the right spot in the room and try to utilize the room as much as possible.
Microphones are one of the most important things, I think. It's going to be your filter. If it doesn't come in there, it's not going to come out the other side no matter what you do, which is sometimes hard for people to understand because you've got all these knobs you can turn and try to milk the sound out, but it's better if it's just there to start with.
I think it's the sound source. Having a nice drum set that's like, I know really well that I keep up on the heads is just getting enough stuff to where we can make amazing recordings no matter what people's personal equipment limitations are. This old Gibson is incredible. Like all the heavy bands I do, I pretty much use this one. Like I just crank it up all the way and the speaker just breaks up like crazy and just use that for high end and then use some other amp for like the low end. Sounds insane. Sounds like Motorhead.
What motivates you to keep recording?
Oh man, I know, I love music, love hanging out with people. It's a lot of fun to hang out with different groups of people and different styles of people. I really like that. And love dialing the sounds of this. I always liked that for some reason my whole life. Love playing with the gear, plugging in cables, all that kind of stuff. It's great.
Motivation, a tricky thing. Well, part of what makes it interesting is it's different bands, it's different music, and it's sort of like a different adventure. It's not the same script over and over.
A giant motivation is that there's just like so much to learn. I just learned so much, and it makes your brain work in this way where I felt like every single time I went through a session, like I learned something for like next time kind of thing, you know, and figured out, you know, what's missing, what's different, what could make this better.
I really have a nice time. I really enjoy it. I really, I love the fact that I get to record a lot of my friends' bands. Not only just get the sounds right and get the microphones right, but just interact with the people and make sure, you know, everyone knows what's going on, make sure everyone's feeling comfortable, make sure everyone's feeling like their ideas are being heard. To me, it's always a real treat. You just get into it, like the whole outside world doesn't exist anymore, and everyone's thinking about like making a recording, or hopefully they are. I know I am.
What advice do you have for a beginner setting up his first home studio?
The gear is relatively inexpensive. The programs are great. I guess just do it. Start recording.
I guess I'd kind of recommend what I did, which is like get a basic setup, which is whether it's computer-based or tape-based. You don't have to have a million microphones. It doesn't take much. You know, with a little bit of time, you can, even with just a few microphones and a computer, you can do a lot if you put the time in and experiment with different mic positioning. What I have set up now in the studio compared to what I had like the first day I was recording someone else is just such completely different worlds, and I've sunk so much money and put so much time into it. But at the same time, I can still listen to that first recording I did, and it sounds really good, you know, and it was just a real simple setup, but I can still stand behind the quality of that.
My biggest advice is just to be really into the music you work with. Do it because you love it. Create a niche like that nobody else is filling. Like, get really good at what you like to do.
If you're truly interested in recording, experiment a little bit, work with some bands, and you'll find out quite quickly whether you're suited for it. Because part of it is not just being an engineer, it's being part of the band, maybe a psychologist, maybe a shrink, maybe a friend, maybe a member. And if you find that you can do all that stuff and be good with it and not just be like, then pursue it if it's your passion. You know, whatever you find in life, it's good to pursue your passion because it's you in life, right?
So thanks for joining me today. I'm gonna go home and try all the new techniques I've learned. I'm excited. So hope you learned something. See you later.